Well, we all knew it was coming, but when it happened, I mean, I was shocked, and I'm sure you were shocked when it was announced yesterday about the death of the great Rush Limbaugh. I mean, it was unbelievable. I'm still in shock about it. And this morning I was listening to the Steve Kane show, which I have a link to it below because it was a great show. It was a tribute, one long tribute to Rush Limbaugh. Oh, and by the way, Steve Kane was on the show today talking about, he knew Rush well enough, because, he's in a radio business, talked about the time. It must have been a great experience. He and Rush alone had dinner together, steak dinner in New Jersey once. So, man, I wish that could have been me, but, it was great to hear Steve Kane talking about it. Now, Brian Craig was talking about the amazing impact that Rush Limbaugh had. Basically, he made conservatism cool, hip and cool. In fact, if you want to talk about a counterculture, conservatives are now, as since Rush's time, are the counterculture against the prevailing liberal, uptight culture. So he made being conservative fun. It was unbelievable. I used to listen to Rush all the time. Just the entertainment, the laughs alone. Besides the fantastic information you would get. Now, I remember the first time I heard Rush Limbaugh. I actually remember that. It might have been actually his first show or soon afterwards, because I know for sure it was August 1988. At the time, I was living in the west end of the San Fernando Valley in the West Hills, and there was a radio station at a shopping center just blocks away from me, walking distance, that had a radio station. I forgot the name of the call letters, but that was the only one, I believe, at the time in the Los Angeles area carrying Rush Limbaugh. I mean, I don't think it had a range of much more than 5 miles, but man, when I heard this, I said, where has he been? This is unbelievable. I mean, I knew this guy was destined for greatness. I just didn't have any idea just how much of a tremendous effect he had, because not only has he affected the entire radio industry, he's affected the internet. In fact, in a way, Rush was the internet before there was an internet. I mean, here's the thing. Politicians used to say stupid stuff, but they were able to get away with it in most part because people have short memories. But on the Rush Limbaugh show, his sin was playing back exactly what the politicians themselves were saying. And I remember Bill Clinton, when he was president, he was whining and complaining about all the time Rush gets to talk about him. I'm, like, dude, you're president of the United States. You can hold a press conference anytime you want, or just by speaking. The whole world is listening to you, and you're complaining about Rush Limbaugh playing your own clips back at you. So that was pretty funny. Now, another thing that Brian Craig asked for is if anybody had called in to the Rush Limbaugh show. Now, I think I tried a couple times, 2-3 times, and of course never got through. So I didn't call into the Brian Craig show today, although maybe I should have, because I have two personal, tremendous memories that borders on the supernatural. Seriously, when you hear what I'm about to tell you, it borders on the supernatural. Now, okay, the first one has to do with an article I wrote for the Washington Examiner. I believe it was 2010, and it was called the Rush Limbaugh Challenge, and it was about the experience. I was writing about how liberals should do what William Raspberry did. William Raspberry was a columnist for the Washington Post, and in 1993 he wrote a column, just putting down Rush Limbaugh, a demagogue, a racist, the whole tube. So anyway, but the thing was, he really hadn't listened to him much at all. That's the thing about liberals. They screamed and yelled about Rush Limbaugh. How many of them actually listened to him? Or when they do listen to him, it's just little clips. I don't have to listen to everything he says. Well, what happened is after William Raspberry, to his great credit, after William Raspberry wrote that first column, he actually took the time to start listening to his shows. And 11 days later, he came back to apologize. He said, I was wrong about Rush Limbaugh. I listened to him. Might not agree with everything he says, but he's definitely not a racist, demagogue, or any of this stuff. He's just a funny guy. And so I wrote a column about how liberals should take the Rush Limbaugh challenge. And so anyway, a few days shortly after that column was published in the Washington Examiner, I'm driving into a parking space at Winn-Dixie, and I start to hear Rush, and he starts talking about a certain column, and then I'm hearing it on the car radio, by the way, and he's talking about it, and he's getting to my name, and I'm going, oh my God. So you know what? The fortunate thing is there's an exact transcript of what he said that day that was on at the time on the Rush Limbaugh Show archives, on the Rush Limbaugh Show website. Unfortunately, those archives are gone now for that particular file. But fortunately, I reprinted it in word for word in the free Republic at the time. So let's go take a look now of the words of Rush Limbaugh as he was starting to talk about my column, and I'm going to give you what happened right afterwards, my reaction to it. Here's the exact transcript of what Rush Limbaugh said in 2010. And I posted this on July 9th of that year to the Free Republic. So although I can't access the Rush Limbaugh Show file on this, here it is reproduced. And this is exactly what Rush said that day. He said, introducing the article that I wrote for the Washington Examiner, he said, this is Rush speaking now. By the way, for those of you, the familial audience here, and you know this, when I say, I wonder if my audience realizes how fortunate they are, what you know is that that's a media tweak. I'm saying that because I want the left to say, do you realize what Rush Limbaugh said? He actually said he wonders if his audience realizes how fortunate they are. You and I know what's going on here. That this is the dirty little secret. In fact, there's a guy, PJ Rednick, JP Bladnick, J.R. Ewing. Let me find it. PJ, it's in the DC Examiner. Where did I put the PJ Gladnick? I think it is. Yes, here it is. The Rush Limbaugh Challenge. PJ Gladnick. So anyway, as Rush was stumbling over my name, I'm yelling at the radio, Rush, get my name right. It's PJ Gladnick, please, PJ Gladnick, PJ. So finally, he gets my name right. I'm going, oh, what a relief. And it was so great. It was unbelievable. It was so great to hear him read my entire column word for word, about the Rush Limbaugh challenge. That's a big fault among liberals. They're all criticizing him. Rarely do they ever really listen to him, or maybe just little bits and pieces. So as soon as he was done, my cell phone rings and I answer it, and it's the co-host of the Steve Kane Show. It's Brian Craig, and Brian is going, hey, did you hear Rush Limbaugh just was reading your column? I'm going, yeah, I know. I was like, and I was telling him that, I was yelling at the radio because he wasn't getting my name at first, and finally he did. Of course it was silly. I mean, I'm yelling at the radio, right there in my car radio. How the hell is he going to hear me? Okay, so a few years goes by. I don't know, 3-4 years. I don't remember. And I had written another column. I don't remember what it was about. It was for the Newsbusters. So this time, just as I'm parking in a supermarket parking space exactly like before, except this time it was Publix, not Winn-Dixie, Rush Limbaugh starts reading the column. And oh my God, this is like last time. But also like last time, he couldn't find my name, and I'm going, Rush, PJ Gladnick, say my name, please, Rush. I mean, I knew the first time after it was over how ridiculous it was, and yet the second time he's stumbling to find my name, I'm doing the same exact thing. I can't help myself. I'm yelling, please, get my name, get it. So finally, he got my name. I was relieved, and he read my column and all that. And then, here's where it gets really spooky again. So everything's exactly like before, right? Supermarket parking space, he's reading my column, he can't get my name quite right. So guess what? The phone rings, and I'm going, oh no, this can't be, this cannot be. This can't be. It's going to be the same thing. I answer it, and it was, yes, it was Brian Craig the second time. Hey, did you hear? Rush Limbaugh was reading your column. I go, yeah. And just like before. I mean, it was so strange that both incidences were so similar. I mean, everything was alike. And that Brian Craig happened to call me up both times as soon as the Rush was done calling. So I have some very happy memories of Rush Limbaugh. I am sad about him passing, but he's given us all of us great joy. So until later, I'll see you guys later, and especially I say goodbye to Rush Limbaugh, who's given me and everybody else such great entertainment and information over the years. Basically, Rush, you've changed the world. See you guys later.